Hello. I bought the 80s tabletops, and I got travel, the road trip tabletops, which is it's just a smaller, it's for traveling. It's small, it's just a few cards. But I thought I would ask a few of those questions because I have fun doing them, and I have fun reading your comments and watching videos, answering the questions. Those are fun. What was the best movie of the 80s? I would have to say, well, there were a lot of good movies actually in the 80s, but I think Empire Strikes Back probably would be my top pick. I thought about, Breakfast Club, which was a good movie. I really loved The Elephant Man. I watched that many times. I thought that was really well done. There were so many. Platoon, A Christmas Story. That's a classic, I think. I love The Terminator. So, there's a lot, but I think if I had to pick one, it would probably be Empire Strikes Back. Did you feather your hair? Well, I really didn't feather my hair in the 80s so much as maybe in the 70s, toward the end, like 6th, 7th grade, something like that. I tried to do the whole feather thing. It never did quite work out. I'd have one really great feathered side, and of course you'd spray it to death with hairspray. And then the other side, it never did quite work out. I was never symmetrical. I never got really two good sides. And what concerts did you attend in the 80s? My very first concert was in 1981, the Rolling Stones. They played at the Cotton Bowl, and it was really an event. It was first come, first serve seating in the stadium, and I went with a few friends of mine, and one of my friends' dads actually took us. But we left at 6 in the morning. The concert started, I think, sometime mid-afternoon. There was ZZ Top open for the Stones, and I suddenly can't remember the name of the band that opened before them. So it was a long afternoon that started raining. It poured down rain. By the end of it, we were standing in ankle-deep water, and Mick Jagger, because we'd gotten there so early, I was really close. I mean, I was like 50 feet from him, and he was out in the rain singing. He's like, "If you guys are gonna get wet, I'm gonna get wet," and yeah, it was something. It was quite an event, but that was probably my most eventful concert, and I have seen many since, but we'll just go with that one. Were you more into the wedding of Luke and Laura or Charles and Diana? Now, Luke and Laura was from General Hospital. It was a soap opera here, and it was really big in the day, and their wedding was this huge event. And it may have been so big because there really weren't a lot of channels back then. So, it got to be this big deal for some reason. And I did watch General Hospital, I think mainly because my grandmother watched it, and we had to watch it when we were with her. So you kind of get involved in something that you're forced to watch. Then after a while, you're like, I'm going to watch it. So, yeah, I did watch that. But I also woke up to watch Charles and Diana get married live. It was just one of those things that you do. So I got up at like 3 something. My mother claims that she got up for the wedding, but I know I was down there by myself. What's the worst hotel you've stayed in? Well, I think I've been pretty lucky about not staying in really gross hotels. However, I guess I was still in high school. My parents had separated, and I don't know. The stress of everything that was going on, I'm not really sure, but I told my parents, I'm like, I have to get away for a few days. I simply will go mad if I don't get away. I'm not sure really how I phrased it, other than I just needed to get out of town for a few days for my sanity. I kind of vaguely remember even sort of saying stuff like that. I don't whatever. But yeah, so my mother made my dad take me, and I took a couple of friends of mine with me, my neighbors across the street, and they were twins. And we went up to Lake Texoma, which it is what it sounds like. Texas and Oklahoma, there's a Lake Texoma. I know, super creative. So my dad took us there, I think because it was just inexpensive and easy to get to, and he had a friend that lived up there and whatever. It wasn't very far. So we go, and he gets a room across the hall, and my friends, we get a room, and we check in, and we open our suitcases, and my friends are sort of taking all their crap out, and everything. And at some point, I see a mouse. So, of course, I called my dad. My dad's like, well, call the front desk. Thanks, Dad. So I call the front desk, and the guy's like, well, I don't like mice. Like, I don't like mice either, and I certainly don't want one in my room. Hello? So, reluctantly, this guy, who looked like he wasn't much older than we were, teenagers, came to look for the mouse, which he did not find. And so, we were going out to do whatever we were going to do, and we were like, we don't care. Do what you need to do. Find the mouse. We do not want it in the room. Ew. And we go out, we do whatever, we come back, and there's no note or anything. We don't see any mouse, we don't hear anything. And the next day, my friend reaches down in her suitcase to pick something up, and there was a dead mouse in there. I guess it had smothered or something. I don't know what happened to it, but at that point it was deceased. At which point, of course, she's screaming, and I call my dad, and my dad's like, call the front desk. So I call the front desk, and the guy's like, well, I don't like mice. Like, and the same guy, I'm like, I don't care. There's a dead mouse in here now. Seriously. So I don't know if my dad ever said anything about, we took care of the bill, whatever happened with that. But yeah, that was not good. Okay, what's the most amazing thing you've seen from your car window? I once saw a man giving another man a blowjob. And my mother was in the passenger seat. I was in the back seat. My sister was driving. I think I made a video about this. And my sister and I see them when, we're just laughing. And my mother's like, what? What do you see? What's so funny? We're like, nothing. And so my sister, she slows down to the point where we're like this with the cars. And of course that makes the one guy look, and then the other guy looks up, and they're laughing, and it's just one of those weird moments that you're like, alrighty then. If you could only pick one holiday to celebrate each year, what would it be? I love Halloween, but I think if I had to pick one holiday to celebrate, it would be Thanksgiving. Because I think it's the holiday with the least amount of pressure if you compare Thanksgiving and Christmas. Of course, some of the other holidays, there's no pressure at all. I think just in terms of, possible disappointment, all the issues that go with families and whatnot, it just doesn't seem like it's there at Thanksgiving like it is at Christmas. I could be wrong. My own opinion. I have more, but I'm going to hold off. I will ask these maybe next week or something. So, yeah, more questions to come.